Well, it's that time of year again. You know, the time of year where all the YouTubers tell you about the products that they love, that they found this year, or used this year, or saw on a shelf this year, so that way they can have an excuse to put an affiliate link down below in the description so you'll click on it and give them a little bit of a kickback. So I figured, why buck the trend? And I thought I would do a video telling you about the favorite deck boxes that I have for various different purposes. I broke them down into a couple of categories, so let's just dive right in. Category 1 is the basic box. That's about it. No frills, no nothing. It's just a deck box that can hold your cards. And it should be no surprise to anyone that the winner for me is the Boulder, with one tiny exception. What I like about the Boulder is it's simple, it's sleek, and it comes in different sizes. So if you're trying to put together your tournament deck, an 80+. Your Oathbreaker deck, a 60+. For your commander deck, a Boulder 100+, if you don't have a prism lying around. Yep, that's my exception. For the commander deck, especially a commander deck that you want to double sleeve, I recommend the BCW Prism. Basically BCW's version of the Boulder. It's sleek, simple, and it'll protect your cards. It's basically like a tank. And I love them both. Okay, so we've done the basic box, but what about a situation when you want something a little more? You need something to hold more than just your cards. This is the category I call deck with benefits, where the deck box has something a little bit more like a compartment for tokens or dice, or even just a slot for more cards. And my favorite here is a late entry to the contest, and that is the Legion Sentinal 130. Yeah, I love this box. I like the fact that the compartment for the tokens and counters are in the same area as your cards. Yes, the flap is attached, but I don't mind that on smaller boxes. It's the bigger boxes when it bothers me. I just like the form factor. It's a lot easier to manage for me. And it holds my commander deck and then some, which is something I really like. Now, an honorable mention here is the Satin Tower and the Boulder and Tray. I like both of these for the deck with benefits category because it holds what I need in addition to the larger deck that I have. And the Satin Tower gets a couple extra points because it can actually hold a double-sleeved commander deck. Okay, here's one of my favorite categories, and it's the draft kit. Now, a draft kit can be a lot of things. It can be a Dragon Shield sleeve box, and that's it. Or it can be all the way up to an entire bag if you want to. You want to get that elaborate. Now, what I do for my draft kit is I have a box that has enough space for the sleeves, a place for dice and counters, as well as a spot for infinitokens and lands. That way you don't have to go up to the land station of your LGS and take their lands and then forget to return them at the end of the night like I did all the time. Sorry, guys. At the beginning of this year, I did a video on putting together a draft kit, and at the end of the video, I mentioned that I was using the Twin Flip and Tray 266 Plus for my draft kit. Well, I've moved on from that. I guess you could say I downsized from that to the Twin Flip and Tray 160 Plus. Frankly, I think the Twin Flip and Tray is the perfect size for a draft kit, or if you want to be technical, a limited kit. That's what I like about it, is that I can use it for a sealed event or a draft event. Heck, I even used it for the Warhammer 40k Commander sealed event where they just gave you one of the 40k Commander decks and you played with that, and I used my Twin Flip and Tray and it worked great. I highly recommend this box. Now, there are many options in a draft kit container, so I encourage you to go and watch that video so you can see all of the different ways that you can set up a draft kit. Quick honorable mention here, the Legion 130 deck box is an excellent option for a draft kit as well, but it's not a sealed kit, so I wouldn't use it for all limited events, just drafts. Okay, now we're getting into the chonkers. We're getting in the ones that are the bigger boxes for a bigger thing. The next category is game night. These are boxes that hold your cards for a night of gaming, whether it sits on your shelf or it's something that you take with you to a friend's house or to an LGS, and it holds the decks that you want to play that night or day or whenever. For this category, I picked two. Big surprise, like I've been able to pick one through any of these categories, but the Smarthive from Ultimate Guard was my main pick because I like the way it works. I like the fact that you can fit other boxes inside of it, so that way way you can keep things a little bit more contained. You don't have to use loose cards, but it also has spaces for dice and tokens, among other things, even a slot for a notepad or one of those electronic pads, that sort of thing. I also like that the lid can come completely off, so you can take the lid off and stash it over on the side or back up on the shelf, and then you don't have to worry about it until the night's over. The other option, though, is basically its cheaper cousin, and that is the BCW 4XL gaming box. It essentially is the same thing. It can hold 4 commander decks, but there's still more room. Everything in here is made of plastic. It is the cheaper option, but that doesn't make it any less useful. If you want to go with a nicer option, one that looks nicer on your shelf or one that you like the look of, then the Smarthive is an option. But if you don't care much about that, then go with the cheaper option and get the BCW 4XL. And now for one of my favorite categories, the Battle Box. These boxes are similar to game night boxes, but the difference is the decks inside are meant to play against each other. A good example would be this Warhammer 40k Battle Box that I put together for the Warhammer 40k Commander decks. This has all 4 Commander decks inside of it. Now, while this is one of my favorite things for the year, it's not one that you can go out and purchase yet. But there are other options that you can use to make a battle box, and they don't have to be as elaborate. My personal favorite is the Ultimate Guard 800+. I use this for my Ravnica Guild kits, and this one here is my Jumpstart battle box. In fact, if you really like Jumpstart and you haven't made a battle box yet and you want to know how, check out that video right there, as it will show you how to make a Jumpstart battle box. I will probably be updating that video soon because that was one of the first videos I made on the channel, and it makes me cringe a little bit when I watch it, so keep an eye out for the update. Again, an honorable mention, the Ultimate Guard 550+ is an excellent option because you can put some playmats in there as well. So you can set up a whole evening experience for you and your friends, and they don't have to bring anything. You can have everything there with you, whether it's at your house or you're taking it somewhere or taking it to the LGS. In fact, there's a guy at my LGS who uses a 550+ as his draft kit. He puts the playmat in there, and that way he has everything. It's a bit big in my opinion for that purpose, but he likes it, so maybe it'll be an option for you. And now we have the collection management piece. Here, I'm just going to point you to the MTech Cave video that I did a couple weeks ago. That's where I handle my collection, and I, again, point you to them. Go check them out. They have a fantastic selection of drawers that you can pre-order and get in 2023. But in the meantime, if you're looking for something to handle at least a portion of your collection, or if you have a medium to small collection, then it can maybe handle all of it, and that's the Omnihive. I really do like the Omnihive. It is an excellent option if you want a nice, safe, sturdy place to keep your collection. You could potentially use the Omnihive to make like an Omni battle box. If you had like 10 decks you wanted to stick into something. That's an option. And the final category today is the travel bag, or box, depending. Over the past year, I have had 3 travel cases for my cards. The first couple months I used an Amazon Basics photography bag, and it worked great. I really liked it, but there were a couple things about it that I didn't love. So I decided to try out some other options. One of them was the Gamegenic Shell 650+. Basically Gamegenic's version of the quiver. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to pick up a quiver yet. I really do want to get one of those so I can try them out and compare them to these other options. And I do want to review all the different sizes of quiver, so keep on the lookout for that review coming in the future. And if it's already out, then it's right there. Now the Gamegenic 650+ video up there, I really like. I think it's great, and it worked really well. Again, there were some things I didn't like about it, but nothing really that was its fault. It's just I really like a backpack. So I went back to a backpack, but not the Amazon Basics. And it is by far one of the best purchases I've made for 2022. I'm gonna level with you here. This thing isn't cheap, but I was fortunate enough to be able to pick it up this year because I've had my eye on it for a while. And that is the Peak Design 20-liter photography bag, travel bag. They're a little weird with their naming over there, but it's the 20-liter one. It's the one with the flap lid thing. Like I said in my video about using photography bags for trading card games, is that the features and things that they add for photographers can easily be used for trading card games instead. These flaps that flap up that fit a camera body perfectly also happen to fit a Boulder 100+ quite well. And the side access is excellent. Not to mention, this has security features built into the bag. And yeah, it won't stop a thief dead in their tracks, but it'll slow them down, hopefully enough so you can notice what they're doing and tell them to buzz off. Or wet yourself like I do. Whatever whatever you do in those situations. I like the fact that it has top access, side access, and you can customize the inside using these flaps to fit your exact needs. And it has little pockets and places for your laptop or iPad. It has a lot of options that I really like. My only regret is not picking up the 30 liter, though that really wasn't an option for me because, well, one, it's more expensive than this already very expensive bag, but also I wasn't sure if the 30 liter would be allowed to be a personal item on a plane, so I decided to stick with the 20 liter. And I've used this every day since I bought it, and I have no complaints. I absolutely love this bag. I'll be doing a more in-depth review in a couple of weeks that will go into all the features and things that I use in the bag, so be on the lookout for that. There's a lot of stuff to look out for. I have a lot of things planned, and I hope you enjoy them. And I hope you enjoyed this video. As I implied at the beginning of the video, there's going to be a lot of affiliate links down below where you can click on those, and if you want to buy those items, it helps out the channel. There is one affiliate link in particular, the Cave affiliate link, that will get you a small discount on your order, and it will also help out the channel. So I highly recommend you do that, or you can use the code FDS at checkout at Cave. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Click on that. I figured, when in YouTube, be a YouTubin'. That joke is so stupid. This show is part of the CIP network, inspiring creativity, one episode at a time.